Someone sends you a video and you are in it. For a few seconds it is fine. Then you speak and something in your chest tightens. That is not what you sound like. Except it is. If you have ever wondered why your recorded voice sounds weird, the usual answer is that a microphone strips something out. That is true, and it is about a third of the story. The rest is stranger, and it is not really about sound at all. Start with what is actually happening inside your head. When you speak, you are hearing yourself through two channels at the same time. One of them is ordinary. Sound leaves your mouth, travels through the air, and arrives at your eardrum, exactly the way it does for everyone else in the room. The second channel is private. Your vocal folds vibrate your whole skull, the jaw, the teeth, the bone around your ears. That vibration reaches your inner ear directly without ever passing through the air. Dense bone does not carry every frequency equally. It favors the low ones. Researchers describe the skull as behaving like a low-pass filter, so the deep frequencies come through strongly and the bright ones do not. The voice you have listened to your entire life is the ordinary air version with a bass layer laid underneath it. A microphone has no skull. It only ever captures the air half. So a recording is not a distortion of your voice. It is your voice with a layer removed, and that layer was only ever being delivered to you. Everyone who has ever met you has only heard the recorded version. The voice you think of as yours is the one voice nobody else has ever heard. There is a line you will find repeated everywhere on this subject. Sound travels roughly 10 times faster through bone than through air. The number is real. It also explains nothing because speed does not change pitch. A sound does not become deeper by arriving sooner. What matters is which frequencies survive the trip, not how quickly they make it. And if you go looking for the precise numbers, they are not there. A 2023 paper in Royal Society, Open Science states plainly that the transfer function of the skull and the surrounding tissue has still not been formally defined. The direction is settled, the arithmetic is not. That same study found something else worth keeping. Hearing yourself through bone actually helps you tell your own voice apart from somebody else's. The vibration is not only sound, it is part of how you recognize yourself. This is where the tidy explanation runs out. If the problem were only some missing low frequencies, the experience would be mild. You would notice it the way you notice a song through a cheap speaker, thinner than expected, and then you would move on. You do not move on. People flinch and delete the voicemail and refuse to watch the video back. Absent bass does not do that to a person. In 1966, two psychologists gave the reaction a name. Philip Halsman and Clyde Rousey published a paper called The Voice as a Percept in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. They played people recordings of their own voices, and they watched what happened. What they documented was not really an acoustic complaint. Their subjects were reacting to what the researchers called extralinguistic cues, the things a voice carries besides words: anxiety, hesitation, sadness, anger, qualities that are perfectly audible to everyone around you and completely inaudible to you while you are the one speaking. They named the whole reaction voice confrontation, and that word is doing real work. You are not evaluating a sound. You are being handed evidence. Now the experiment that turns all of this inside out. In 2013, the psychologists Susan Hughes and Marissa Harrison published a study in the journal Perception. 80 people listened to a set of voice recordings and rated how attractive each voice sounded. What they were not told is that their own voice was in the set. Most of them did not notice. That is less surprising than it sounds, because an earlier study by Rousey and Halsman found that only 38% of people could identify their own recorded voice within 5 seconds. So they sat there, quietly rating a stranger, and they rated that stranger higher than everybody else had rated them. They rated it higher than they had rated any of the other voices in the room. The researchers called it vocal implicit egotism. Sit with that for a moment because it is the whole video. It is the same recording. Unlabeled, it is a voice you find rather pleasant, more pleasant in fact than other people find it. Labeled as you, it is unbearable. Nothing about the audio changed. The only thing that changed is whether your brain knew it was looking at a mirror. So the discomfort was never really in the sound. It is in the collision. You are carrying a model of yourself, how steady you are, how warm, how certain, how well you are holding it all together. That model was assembled from the inside, through a private channel, across your entire life, and it was never once checked against the outside. Every other feature you own, you can verify. You can look in a mirror. You can see a photograph. You can catch yourself walking past a shop window. Your voice is the single part of you that you can only ever perceive through equipment that nobody else has access to. There is one more detail that makes this difficult to argue with. The same researchers ran the study again with bilingual people who had learned their second language after the age of 16. Those people were more uncomfortable hearing themselves speak their first language. Not the language they were less fluent in, the one they were most themselves in. The closer the recording sat to the self they built earliest, the worse it landed. This is old equipment, still running. Your brain built its model of your voice the only way it ever could, from the inside, from vibration in your own bones, and then it never updated it. For almost all of human history, there was nothing to update it against. Nobody heard themselves played back. Not once in 200,000 years, until about a century and a half ago. What you feel is a very old system meeting evidence it was never built to receive. So the next time you hear it and something tightens in your chest, understand that nothing is wrong with your voice. You are simply being introduced, a little late, to the one that everybody else has always known.